So here's my stance on finding quality insurance and insurance plans. I don't think you should really be concerned about insurance. By the time you need to obtain commercial vehicle insurance, you've already closed the contract, which means you already done the research on what it costs to sign up a hospital or a rehab facility to be able to provide insurance. All of that's rolled into the cost of the contract that you're building or that you're setting up. If you're building and creating a company, prior to starting your company, you take all of that into consideration. You already look over the numbers. You already say, okay, this is the cost for maintenance for a year. And really, you should be doing it for 3 years. This is the cost to hire an employee or hire a staff. And this is how long it's going to take to maintain that for 3 years. So you already have financial projections on what it costs to run your business. Once you understand the cost to run your business, then you take a step back and say, okay, well, how many contracts do I need to close to run my business? How do I build a company that is actually able to finance all of my hopes and dreams through closing contracts and obtaining opportunities? And it's not as hard as you think. A lot of people are still with that service-based business mindset where I have to go do the work. One thing we talk about on my channel all the time is take I out of your business, okay? It's not about you. It's not about you starting something where you purchase the vehicle, where you get in the vehicle, where you're transporting clients and taking them to appointments. What you should be doing is closing deals, finding opportunities where there's a need. One of the videos that I post, and it actually shows a company vehicle with a contract I have at a hospital in Tampa, Florida. And what we're doing is we're providing transportation services with their signage, the hospital signage on my vehicle. A part of the contract was that all of the vehicles had to show the signage of the hospital. So the way I obtained that contract was very simple. We were already providing services because one of the nurses at the hospital contacted us 2-3 years ago, 2021, so 3 years ago, and needed a stretcher transport completed. She actually happened to be the individual that was in charge of making the decisions on who and what company transports clients. They had overflow. We made ourselves available, and that's where the relationship started. And then that deal was closed in late 2023. As a result of that opportunity, one of the requirements that they had was any vehicle that we use had to have their own hospital signage for us to be able to exclusively transport and maintain their discharge services. That became an actual problem for me because I'm used to being able to bounce from hospital to hospital to hospital and just roll whatever discharges in to whatever services we're providing. So we actually had to go back to the drawing board and the negotiating table and say, hey, if we're going to exclusively provide services to your facility, this is what we need from you, and this is what's also included. So inside of that, I had to go do research about how to create an insurance policy for vehicles that were exclusively providing services for this particular hospital. One of the things that we negotiated in the deal was we were only required to do a 10-mile radius to provide transportation services. Excuse me, not even a 10-mile, I think it was a 7-mile radius to provide transportation services as a discharge to their patients. And they actually went for it. Now, the reason they went for it is because we didn't push, oh, we're the lowest price company in the industry. We pushed availability. We solved their problem. Their biggest issue is getting people out of the hospital when they're ready to go home, discharging them. They're no longer an emergency client, so the paramedics no longer want to provide services for them. So we were able to solve that problem for them. We became a solution, and as a result of becoming that solution, we negotiated a great opportunity for ourselves and for the hospital. Now, of course, there's some additional details. That was a contract that took 2 years to develop. But inside of those 2 years, I was doing a bunch of other stuff. and getting into a lot of other things. But while I was doing that, I was also working this particular contract. You can't do deals and show up to appointments and meet and greet with people if you're always behind the steering wheel driving and transporting people. The only way to truly build your business is to literally do that. Build the business, not be in the business, working in the business. Hopefully this has been helpful.